The war between humans and the Velshara had ended, but peace did not come easily. Both sides had lost many lives, and the stars between them were filled with the remains of ships that would never fly again. To keep another war from starting, a meeting was arranged on a neutral space station called Crystal Station, a place that floated around a dying sun. It was quiet there, glowing softly with blue light from the star below. Lieutenant Aaron Vale stood with the human delegation. He was the youngest among them, just 23, still new to war and politics. He had never seen battle like the older men beside him, but he carried something different: hope. The veterans beside him looked tired, their faces full of caution. Aaron tried to stand tall even though his heart beat fast. This meeting could decide the future of both worlds. When the doors of the Great Hall opened, everyone turned. The air shimmered and Queen Seraphine of the Velshara entered. Her presence made the whole room feel smaller. She was tall, with hair that glowed silver like the light of the moon and eyes of deep violet that seemed to see through lies and fear. Her steps were calm, her face unreadable. Even the proudest human commanders went silent. Aaron had seen pictures of her before, but no image had prepared him for this. She looked both powerful and sad, like someone who had carried a burden for a very long time. The Queen's guards, tall and graceful with golden armor, followed behind her. She stopped in the center of the hall, her gaze sweeping across the humans one by one. The human commander began to speak, his voice steady but cold. He talked about peace, trade, and the promise of no more weapons between their species. The Queen listened quietly, her face calm. When the speech ended, she raised her hand. Her voice was soft but carried through the whole hall. "Among you stands one who does not belong to war," she said. "One who still remembers the light that we lost." No one understood what she meant. She looked at each human slowly, then stopped. Her finger rose and pointed across the room, straight at Aaron. "That human will be mine," she declared. The hall fell silent. Even the air seemed to stop moving. The human commander blinked in confusion. "Your Majesty," he said carefully, "that man is an officer of the Alliance. He is not—" The Queen cut him off gently. "I know who he is, but he is also something more. He carries the spark my people have searched for." Aaron felt his stomach twist. He could feel dozens of eyes on him. He wanted to speak, but words refused to come out. He looked at her, and for a strange moment it felt like she was looking right into his memories, into his heart. Her eyes softened a little. "You, young human," she said, "do you know why your kind survived the endless dark while ours began to fade?" He shook his head slowly. "No, Your Majesty." She nodded, almost sadly. "Then you will learn. You will come with me." Before he could reply, her guards stepped forward. The human soldiers raised their weapons in alarm, but the Queen lifted her hand. "No harm will come to him," she said. "He is under my protection." Aaron felt a warm light touch his shoulder. It came from her hand, glowing gently through his uniform. The warmth spread through his body, not painful, just strange, almost comforting. "You will come with me," she said again, her tone softer now. "And through you, perhaps both our worlds will live." The commander whispered to another officer, unsure if they should stop it, but no one dared to move. Everyone could sense that something beyond politics was happening. Aaron looked around one last time at his people. They were frozen, watching him with disbelief. He swallowed hard and followed the Queen. The great doors closed behind them with a sound that echoed through the metal hall. As he walked beside her, the alien guards surrounding them, he tried to understand what was happening. Was he being taken prisoner? Was this part of some unknown deal? But the Queen's voice broke through his confusion. "Do you fear me, human?" she asked. He hesitated.
"I don't know."
"Maybe a little." Her lips curved slightly, almost like a smile. "Good, fear keeps one honest. But remember this, I did not choose you for your fear." They reached the docking bay where a large ship waited. It shimmered like a crystal bird, its wings folding in and out with every heartbeat. Aaron had never seen technology so alive. As they entered, the ship seemed to recognize the Queen, glowing brighter in her presence. She turned to him before they stepped inside. "Your people call us enemies," she said quietly. "But you will see soon. We are more alike than they believe." He nodded, unsure what to say. The ship's door closed, and through the window he saw the humans watching from afar. The commander's face was pale, his eyes wide with disbelief. To him, Aaron was gone, taken by an alien queen whose purpose no one understood. The ship lifted off and entered the dark between stars. Inside, the light was soft and calm. He looked around at the strange halls filled with symbols that glowed faintly. Everything felt both cold and alive. He was shown to a room, small but comfortable. The queen did not speak again for the rest of the journey. Aaron sat by the window watching the stars slide by like falling snow. His thoughts were loud. Why him? Why not someone older, stronger, wiser? Hours later, the door opened and she entered again, now without her crown. Her silver hair flowed freely and her eyes were less sharp, more human somehow. "You wonder why I chose you," she said. He nodded. "Yes, Your Majesty." She stepped closer, her voice quiet but firm. "Because I saw in you what my world forgot. A heart that still believes. My people once had that. Now we are fading. You may be the key to our survival." Aaron felt his chest tighten. "I don't understand. I'm just a pilot. I don't have anything special." She looked at him for a long time, then smiled faintly. "That is what makes you special." Before he could respond, she turned and walked away, her voice echoing softly through the metallic hall. "Rest, young human. Tomorrow you will see why your kind still shines in the dark." When she was gone, Aaron sat there in silence. The ship hummed gently, carrying him deeper into alien space. He did not know if he would ever see Earth again. But somehow even ship-carrying Aaron reached the Queen's homeworld after many days of silent travel. When it came out of the dark between stars, Aaron saw a planet shining with silver clouds and rings that glowed faintly. It was beautiful but quiet, as if the world itself was tired. As they landed, he noticed the cities below, tall towers made of glass-like stone glowing with dim light. Many were dark, abandoned, or broken. The streets looked peaceful, but there were few people. Queen Seraphine walked beside him as they left the ship. Her face showed no fear, but her eyes carried sadness. "This is Velshara," she said softly. "Once our world sang with light. Now it whispers." Aaron looked around, trying to understand. "What happened to your people?" She paused, her silver hair catching the sun. "We lost what made us alive," she said. "Long ago we stopped feeling. We built machines to think for us, to remove pain, anger, love, and hope. We became calm and wise, but empty. Our great crystal heart, which connects every Velsharan mind, is dying because we no longer feel anything real." Aaron followed her through the grand hall of her palace. The walls shone faintly with soft color, but the glow was fading. Statues of past queens lined the hall, their eyes made of crystal. Everything was beautiful yet lonely. She led him to a large round chamber. In the center stood a massive crystal heart, taller than any human building he had ever seen. Its glow was weak, like a candle struggling to stay alive. The sound it made was faint, a slow beat that echoed sadly through the hall. "This is the core of the Velshara," the queen said. "It is the heart of my people. It was built by our ancestors when we still knew how to love. It draws strength from our emotions, joy, kindness, connection. But for centuries, those feelings have faded. Now the core will die, and when it does, our world will follow." Aaron looked at the great crystal, then at her. "And you think I can help?" She nodded. "When I looked into you, I saw light. You still feel things deeply. You remember love, courage, even sorrow. That is what we lost. You are human, and that is what we need." Aaron didn't know what to say. He wasn't a scientist or a leader, just a soldier who had wanted peace. "I don't understand what I can do," he said softly. "You don't need to understand," the queen replied. "You only need to feel." She placed her hand on the crystal and looked at him. "Touch it, Aaron Vale. Let it see your heart." He hesitated but stepped forward. The crystal felt cool under his palm, smooth and alive. At first, nothing happened. Then the glow began to grow faintly brighter. He closed his eyes and thought of Earth, of his home, his family, the blue skies, the laughter of people he missed. He remembered the war, the pain of loss, and the wish that no one would ever have to fight again. A warmth spread through his arm, gentle at first, then stronger. The crystal's weak heartbeat began to echo faster, brighter. Light moved up from the floor and filled the whole chamber with golden rays. The air trembled as energy spread through the palace. Queen Seraphine stepped back, her eyes wide. "It's working," she whispered. "Your emotions, they are feeding it." Aaron's knees weakened, but he stayed there, his heart pounding. The light grew stronger until it was almost blinding. Images flashed before his eyes, memories of laughter, loss, friendship, and hope. He could feel the Queen's world connecting with his feelings as if it was learning to live again. Finally, the glow softened, filling the room with a calm, living light. The hum of the core changed. It sounded warm now, steady and alive. Aaron took a step back, breathing hard. The Queen came closer, her eyes shimmering with tears made of light. "You did it," she said softly. "You brought back what we lost." He looked at her, still catching his breath. "I didn't do much, I just remembered what it means to care." She smiled faintly, something rare and full of warmth. "That is everything human. That is what keeps stars alive." Outside, the change spread. Across the planet, lights began to awaken in the cities. People came out of their homes looking at the sky in wonder, as colors they hadn't seen in generations filled the air. The Velshara had always lived in quiet order, but now there was laughter, soft at first, then growing. Children ran through the streets again. Music returned. Aaron stood beside the Queen on the balcony, watching the transformation. "Your people. They look alive again," he said. "They are," she replied softly. "You reminded them that emotion is not weakness, it is strength." He turned to her. "So what happens now?" She looked at him with a gentle smile. "Now we rebuild, and you must return to your world. Tell them that the war is over, not by treaty but by understanding." He felt a strange sadness at the thought of leaving. "Will I see you again?" She hesitated, her voice soft. "You will always see me in the light of every dawn. The core carries your spark now. It will shine across both our worlds." He smiled, though his eyes felt heavy. "Then I guess we'll never really be apart." She stepped closer, her expression calm but kind. "No, Aaron Vale. You will always be part of our story. When my people speak of the light that saved us, they will remember you, the youngest among them, chosen not for power but for heart." When he left Velshara, the Queen watched from the palace as his ship rose into the stars. The core's light followed him, a trail that crossed the dark sky. The warmth in her heart reminded her of something her ancestors once said: "The smallest light can wake a sleeping world." Back on Earth, when Aaron told his story, few believed him. But months later, strange lights began to appear in the night sky, soft silver streams moving across space like whispers of peace. The scientists called it an energy wave. Aaron knew better. He knew it was the Queen's world sending a sign, a thank you. He looked up at the stars one night and smiled. He could almost hear her voice, calm and full of quiet strength. "That human will always be mine," she had said. Not in ownership, not in chains, but in gratitude and connection. And somewhere far away, Queen Seraphine stood before the glowing core, her hand over her heart, whispering softly to herself, "The light has returned. Because of him, we remember how to feel again." The stars outside her window burned brighter, and for the first time in centuries, she smiled with real emotion, warm, human, and alive.